So apparently all of these they, them, their, they, or they, all these they, them, they refer to the normal people. Writing is not that difficult once you know that it's the right combination of art and knowledge. You already have the art. All you need is a little bit more knowledge. And that's the reason why you are here. So welcome to IELTS Juice. Let's start assessing an essay together. You will be able to see some good words, some great structures, and you might be able to avoid some errors. Now, the rubric says, ordinary people try to copy famous personalities by seeing them on TV and reading about them on the newspaper. Remember these two. We will talk about them later on. First question is, why do they do this? So we basically need to come up with the reasons why people follow such personalities through the two mediums. And the second question, do you think it is a good idea to copy famous people? It's a genuine question. It's an opinion question. It's just targeted at you. Do you believe this is a good trend? Is it fine to just follow other people, copy their style, follow their fashion, do what they do? Is it correct or not? This in the IELTS community might be considered as a two-part question, and it's pretty obvious because you have two questions to address. The first one, you just focus on the reasons. It doesn't say you need to say reasons, but it's safe to come up with more than one reason in this particular case. And then you also need to fully support your own opinion and say why you believe this is a good trend or a bad trend. And you just need to back it up with proper development. Last thing, I would suggest one paragraph each. So one paragraph, at least one paragraph for this question and at least one paragraph for this one. On that note, let's read the candidate's response. Normal people, by reading magazines, we generalize, or watching television, I need a comma before by, try to imitate, that's a good word, famous personalities. Correct. These people do this to follow fashion and they feel, and I don't need they, to follow fashion and feel pleasure, to look like their favorite, to be look alike, that's not correct. To be similar to their favorite or to look like their favorite people and or to be like their favorite people. I don't know which one, because to look like other people and to be like other people have two different meanings. Clearly, this is a mistake, and this is not a good word order, and it is confusing me. I believe that it is not fine, I like the approach, it's rather polite, to fake one's apostrophe s appearance, because we want to talk about someone's appearance. I need apostrophe s here. As everyone, I don't need this comma, as everyone has their own personality. Okay, so the whole introduction is telling me that there is a trend that normal people, by watching TV and reading magazines, have picked up, and that is to follow famous personalities. That part is correct. I am introduced to the topic, and in the following sentence, or in following sentences, because there are 3 sentences in the introduction, I am led to the structure of the entire essay. In the first sentence, we know that, or we are introduced to the topic, that the reason why they do that is to follow fashion and to feel pleasure. And I also, in the third sentence in the introduction, I'm introduced to the writer's own personal opinion that this is not good. It is not genuine. It's fake to imitate other people, especially these personalities' appearance. Why? The pillar or the base of this agenda, the writer's opinion, is that every individual has their own unique personality. So far, I really like it. There are bad errors, but still, I am following the framework. Let's focus on the first paragraph, which is going to answer the first question. In recent times, it is easy to replicate anyone, especially stars. I don't need to. As different means of sources are available. Okay, so there are different sources available for us. Good. And those sources will help us imitate famous people. My first question is, what are the sources? What do you mean by means of sources available to us? Let's continue. People imitate famous personalities because they are their fans. This is a referencing issue. They are their fans. Who are whose fans? You see? People imitate personalities because they are their fans, or they are their fans. Who is whose fan? I know, guys, I know you're shouting at your screen right now saying, "Oh, it's obvious, Kasra. Of course, there are normal people and they follow, or they are the fans of these famous people." I get it. I know, I'm with you. The issue is when you overuse pronouns, this happens. When you have too many pronouns, then this will definitely at some point in the essay is going to confuse me as a reader. Who's they? Who's them? Which one we are talking about? Is it about the personalities, or about those famous, glamorous people, or it's just about some ordinary dude? And that part is a writing skill, to know when to use pronouns and learn how to use those pronouns. They, we don't know which one, want to look similar like them. Oh, that's wrong. That's just wrong. They want to be similar to them. Again, that's a bad mistake. And they feel, who's they? Yeah, I hear you, people, normal people, I know. But again, the referencing is not clear. Feel happy when they, who's they? Wear the same outfits or get the same haircut done as their eminent stars do. So apparently all of these they, them, their, they are they, all these they, them, they refer to the normal people. But that's not a very skillful execution of pronouns. Furthermore, popular personalities, if I can speak correctly, follow the latest trend of fashion. And I have a colon here. I don't know why. We don't need a colon. That's it. The sentence is over. The message continues by saying therefore. So we are going to talk about the outcome of the previous sentence. So the message is, this part of the message is done. The message continues. In what way? We are going to talk about the outcome of it. Therefore, the result would be, so I need a semicolon. It is easy for ordinary people to follow the actor or actress, why aren't we generalizing? Who's the actor and actress? By watching them in fashion shows. Okay. Dramas or serials. I need a comma here. This is how people get in touch with the recent fashion, and following these make them different among individuals. I need a comma here, and following these make them different among individuals. All generic. There are a lot of they, them. I'm swimming in the ocean of references that they refer to. Hopefully, they all refer to the ordinary people. Okay. Now, I didn't quite understand the entire paragraph, but I had an idea that they follow these people. Why? Because they're fashionable. And number two, that these people appear on their favorite TV shows or TV series or fashion shows or TV dramas. And because they're there, they, I guess, not even intentionally, automatically, like a zombie, follow these personalities, these TV personalities. I'm reading between the lines. It's not something I immediately see by looking at these sentences. It's just something that I'm trying to interpret. I am not the writer. I am a reader. It's not my job to write or fill in the blanks or assume what you wanted to tell me in your sentences. That's the difference. I should not sit here and interpret the sentences in the way that I would like to hear. This is not a response I have written. This is somebody else's response. But the messages I receive, I have to send them into a certain box in my head to interpret, decode, and then I will be able to understand. That is not a job of a very good writer. A good writer writes and means it. And when you read it, you fully understand what they mean, and it's clear. Let's move on to the second body paragraph. I do not agree that to copy someone is good. I don't like the word good, bad, and better. You know me, you know my videos, you have watched them. It's a lost opportunity. I do not agree that to copy someone is a decent move, is an honorable act. How about those words? And I need a semicolon here. One should have separate identity. Should have separate identity. Okay, grammatically okay. I just have an issue with the agenda. In the introduction, we said everyone has their own identity. Now we are saying one should have their separate identity. It's better, or they already have that. Let's move on. People ought not to be identified as the fan of others. So I know this is a member of Fanboys, and like the other Fanboys, you need like and, or, nor, but. You need a comma before it. But I'm going to argue I don't need this part. You can say a fan of others, for they lose their identity. Now, that would be correct if it weren't for the similar subjects. People and they are the same entity. They refers to people. So I'm going to rewrite, I'm going to reread and rewrite it at the same time. People ought not to be identified as the fan of others for the reason they lose their identity. Because they lose their identity, instead of this one. I mean, this usage of for as the meaning of because doesn't fit here. It's very formal. I would replace it by I would replace it with because. To elaborate, that's a good, oh, that's a very good connector. Individuals who are obese, if they try an outfit which is tighter to them, another comma here, then the suit, the outfit was suit, then the suit will not look appealing on them. All right. Likewise, blonde hair color is not for everyone, is not for every complexion. Full stop. Women change their natural hair color, no comma, just to follow fashion. But if this comma is correct, but if this color does not go with their complexion, comma, then they feel awkward in gatherings, not the gathering, because we're talking about women, because we're taking a generic example here. It's a good example. I love the examples here. They're to the point, but we all of a sudden are pointing at a certain gathering. So should not start a sentence in writing. This usage of so is spoken. Try other things, like as a result. It is better to follow those things, gosh, which enhance things, plural, which enhance your personality. My personality? We were talking about people. All of a sudden, your personality. I know the writer doesn't talk to me, Kasra, directly, of course, but when you say your and it's generic, I get it, but the perspective suddenly changed. Just a few sentences before, the writer was looking at us from the sky and looking at the people. People ought to do this and ought to do that. And now all of a sudden, the writer is in the gathering, is in that gathering, and now is directly standing or sitting in front of us and talking and addressing us directly. That sudden change of perspective is not a very good skill in writing. We should maintain the perspective throughout, at least in a paragraph. In conclusion, people go after celebrities to duplicate them. No, we don't want to duplicate them. Like, if you want to duplicate Arnold Schwarzenegger, you have to have two Arnold Schwarzeneggers. And you may do it with CGI, that happens, but I mean, in the real world, we cannot duplicate Arnold Schwarzenegger. And to be updated about the fashion industry, everything you write with industry, put a de before that. So it's like the manufacturing industry, the aviation industry, the textile industry, the fashion industry. It is not appropriate to put oneself in the same shoes as big names. Nice saying. Good. In this way, I need a semicolon here, a comma after. Individuals lose themselves. No, lose themselves. We need one O. Loose is another word. And their personalities, because each individual has their own personality. That's exactly the first or one of the first sentences in this essay. And we are talking about individuals. So each has their own personality. You do the math. We need a plural personality here, personalities. 299 words. Now let's look at the band descriptors. Okay, good. Let's start by saying that the vocabulary mistakes were off the charts. I saw many mistakes, very noticeable errors. It was very difficult for me to understand. There were attempts to write uncommon words, but they weren't always successful. And the range was, well, the range was sufficient. Yeah, I could see a range of words for the topic, but the execution was not accurate. Then the referencing was, of course, another issue that I had. I really didn't know what to do. And I had some issues with grammatical range and accuracy, many mistakes again, especially in complex structures, like simple sentences and complex structures or complex sentences had the same number of errors. And the sum of, and just not some, but a few of them affected my understanding. The writer was successful in addressing the topic, but you also noticed that we only had a mention of magazines, and that's it, nothing more. About TV, yes, there was one instance that we talked about zombies that they just watch and they follow. But immediately I told you after that, I did not get that message directly. I had to interpret, to extract the meaning I wanted to see from the sentences. And I kind of looked at it in a very favorable way. So this is a generous 6. With this essay, if this was a real IELTS test, this could actually go down to maybe 5.5. So be mindful of that. And I hope you had very good takeaways from today's video, from this assessment. And if you have any questions regarding things that we just talked about here, don't forget to put them in the comments below. We will answer them in due time. And remember, I always say this, and I really seriously mean it. When you write your essay, letters or reports for task 1, doesn't matter. They will be your representatives, and you will not be there to defend your work. They have to defend your knowledge. So it's just natural to make sure that they do their jobs well. And on that serious note, I wish you a lovely day ahead.